This is a proof of concept of a different design for beautiful patterns. The challenge with beautiful patterns is that if we create a database backed and using some sort of framework, the learning curve to be able to add, extend the website is pretty challenging. If we leave it as flat HTML as it is now, it becomes pretty repetitive and there's a lot of code that is repeated. And so what I've created here is a small proof of concept, as I mentioned, to try to potentially have a little bit of both. As you can see here, this is the landing page, and what I have done is I have broken up the different components into the side of the side onto different HTML pages. Up until this point, it's been one gigantic page that has had everything. And as we grow with the number of images and the number of features that we're going to have on the side, it is simply too much. So as you can see here, I have the landing page, which is the index.html, and I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And if you take a pretty good look at it, you'll see that most of this page is simply loading the libraries that are going to be global. So that is things such as Bootstrap, the styles, things such as Font Awesome, jQuery, and others that are part of Bootstrap. This site at its core is Bootstrap with an additional template on top of it. That template is called, if you can see here, let me go ahead and scroll to the part that defines the CSS. It's called now UI kit, and the rest of it is just a minimization of that file. At the bottom is the JavaScript files that I mentioned. A bunch of them are boilerplate, like jQuery, and some others are extensions of Bootstrap specific to this template. So as I mentioned, this website, this landing page is pretty much just the loading of those global libraries with a navigation bar. And in addition to the navigation bar, there are two fields. One of them is a target and the other one is a modal. The modal will be used for video. The target in general will be where the partial pages will be loaded onto it. And let me go ahead and show you here the navigation. The navigation here says beautiful patterns, and then we have hosts, instructors, and learners. And I have created content or placeholder content for all three of them. And in addition to that, I have something on team as well. But let me go ahead and show you here hosts. So if we load hosts onto, let me go ahead and grab that, onto the editor, we'll see here that it disregards all the boilerplate that normally an HTML page has, and it is just the content that will go into the page. And as you can see here, is a couple of features, and that's it. All of this is still flat HTML, nothing else more than that. And so if I click on host, the host content will override whatever was in the home page, and you can see that there. And if you look here at welcome to the Revolution hosts, that's what we see there. Now the same thing is being done for instructors and learners, the exact same approach. If we look here at instructors and then learners, we'll see the exact same format. In fact, it's the same page, I'm just changing the background. You can see welcome to the Revolution learners and then instructors. All of that can be navigated through here. Now, the extra thing that I have is I have a team page, and I'm going to go ahead and select that. And if you see that, that looks much like the old team page, and the formatting here, the background is black and it needs to be updated. But if we take a look at the team page, I'm going to go ahead and drag that in, you'll see that this one's a little bit different. I have here a couple of divs to which I'm going to load content into. Remember, all of these pages are just pages that are loaded onto those target divs and index. Again, just to review, it's target, and that's pretty much it because modal will be used for video. And if we look at it, there's also a script block. And that script block within this page here is creating the tags for the instructors. So you can see here it's just a long array of the images plus the names. And then I have here a a reduce function from map reduce structures within JavaScript that simply creates one of these blocks here for every person, and it does some wrapping at every six, as you can see there. And so that's those conditional statements there with start row and end row. So this is a marriage between having pure flat HTML and having content on a database and having a data-driven website that it's on top of some framework. We still have flat HTML files, but now we're breaking off pieces onto separate files, and within those separate files, we could have logic in themselves, meaning that they do not have to be created from scratch. If there's a lot to be created, we could have some logic that creates it. I'm going to go ahead and share this with the team, and I'll wait for some feedback, and then we can make some decisions as to what we want to do.